There, arms like a...
This is Sarah.
And this is Rachel.
And this is the Diaries, a podcast where we rip apart, episode by episode, the Vampire Diaries. Warning, this is a rewatch podcast. There's always spoilers for future episodes getting mentioned.
Yeah, every episode. But nice to disclaim it, every single one.
Yes, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case you're new here.
Yeah. This week, we're talking about Season 3, Episode 1, The Birthday.
Oh my God.
I'm so excited. I've been thinking about this. We've obviously, if you've been watching, we've been doing specials for the past few weeks. And
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this since we finished Season 2, of course.
Oh, I mean, I would say I've been thinking about this for a year since we started the podcast.
That's true. That's true.
Season 3 was always the season we were, gunning for. That was where we wanted... I mean, I love Season 1 and 2, so I enjoyed them while we were doing them. But let's be real. Season 3
this is another level.
It's the gem of the Vampire Diaries. Yeah. This is what we were looking forward to. And as we mentioned before, Season 3, Episode 2 was our tester episode. It was the first one we ever filmed just as, a little... experiment. So I'm excited that we're finally around there. We're to Season 3. So what's been playing in my head is the Mariah Carey TikTok sound, the it's time. That's me. I'm we're here.
Yeah, not for Christmas, Christmas season. No, just watching Vampire Diaries season 3.
Vampire Diaries. We're back. We're so back.
We're so back. Yeah.
As is Klaus, kicking us right off with my fave.
Love.
And Stefan, my other fave.
Oh my God, yeah.
The stars of Season 3, of course we have to start with them in Tennessee. What an odd place to start. Obviously, they're kicking off the season in an abnormal place. They're starting things off a little different, telling us it's a different season. We see it's a hot Tennessee summer day. We can tell because a woman comes out of her house that's very clearly in the middle of nowhere. She's in shorts, a tank top, very summer vibes. She's looking for her dog, and she's saying it's too hot for me to come looking for you.
Yeah.
They're summer. That's the vibe
Definitely,
of this episode.
Yeah.
So she's looking around when suddenly Klaus appears out of nowhere.
Yes.
And I just have to start off by saying, Summer did Joseph Morgan so good. I don't know what they changed about his look, but he looks amazing.
Okay, I was saying this too. Something about his necklaces.
Oh,
his
the shirts.
Yeah, the shirts he wears. Nailed it. I love him. He looks so good.
Yeah, and the slight summery coloring, to his skin, his hair I think grew a little bit. Every single thing about his look that changed over the summer suits him so well, which I won't say applies to most of the other guys. We'll talk about them as they appear.
One specifically comes to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Everyone changes their looks a little bit between seasons because there's a whole summer for them too.
Yeah.
And Joseph looks amazing. They clearly figured out his styling.
Yeah.
We only got him for 3 episodes in season 2. So
yeah, that's true. They've really gotten a chance to figure out his character between seasons.
Definitely.
Yeah. Also, Klaus comes up and starts talking to this woman in an American accent, and I was screaming. I love it so much. Maybe unpopular opinion. I don't know. I really like it. And this reminds me to that one commenter who was it's only because they're English that you guys love Klaus and Elijah. I was this proves
actually false.
Not true. Not true.
That's true. I like him just as much with the American accent.
Yeah. I mean, obviously British accent a little better, but this English accent, I was it still works for me.
He's doing a slight twang, because he's trying to do a bit of a southern, which I will say his English accent, his actual accent is slipping through a little bit on certain words. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
But I do really like it. It's so funny. You just have to laugh, but you're also Klaus is up to something. What is going on? Because he's saying to the woman his car broke down, he needs a phone. He's clearly looking for an excuse to get invited into her house. And he's saying, I promise I'm not a serial killer. Literally said every serial killer ever. Come on, Klaus.
Yeah. Also true, but also he's probably killed more people than any other serial killer.
He is the biggest serial killer in the history of time, probably. So, yeah, but she's picking up on the vibe. Any woman knows.
Absolutely,
do not invite a random man into your house. It's bad enough you're talking to him. You live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she won't let him in, which he's I thought you Southern people were, supposed to be so welcoming and inviting people in. And she's I'm from Florida. Which I was I love that they felt the need to put that Florida dig in there. So funny of them. I know. So we cut away. We don't know what happens out there. I think you kind of get the implication that he's dropped the he goes back to his normal accent at that point too. So clearly he's dropped the pretenses and is going for what he wants. We cut inside where another woman is frying food. She's unaware. She's talking about, oh, that dog ran away to somebody with AC.
Yeah.
When suddenly comes through the door is Klaus with this girl, like, holding her by the neck, clearly, like, he's just doing whatever he wants now. Which also, back to the dog for a second. Did Klaus and Stefan kill the dog? What happened to the dog?
Say that.
What happened to the dog? Maybe they just let him loose. I don't know. But I was like, why are they adding this plot of the dog?
I'm choosing to believe he really did go find a house with AC.
Yeah, everyone has a line. Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe there's something to it too, of like the Klaus smelling out the dog smelling Klaus as a wolf.
Oh, and he like ran.
Yeah. The predator is there.
That's possible. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But yes, so Klaus comes in with the girl, like holding her. Clearly something's up. The like chef lady is like panicking, and they ask where Ray Sutton is.
Yes.
And the woman's like, he's not here. He's on the road. He's not here. Klaus is not taking no for an answer. And so the woman starts to run away. Yeah. Goes to the front door where she swings open the front door, and standing there blocking the doorway,
iconic, is Stefan.
Arms like on both sides of like the door, whatever. And he literally is giving like book talk. He's giving enemies to lovers. He's getting like menacing, but also like
sultry.
Yes, sultry is a good word for it. So I love the Stefan intimidating pose.
Yeah, same. I love every single aspect of Stefan's Ripper era.
Oh yes, so this whole episode is really good for him.
Yeah,
not really, but for us.
Yeah, not really. But anyway, Klaus comes out with the other woman, and the woman tells Klaus where Ray Sutton is, and then he also makes the other girl allow Stefan to come in. Yeah. And invite him in, of course. And Klaus just sort of leaves the girls with Stefan and tells Stefan to make the one girl that kind of ran away suffer. And Klaus just walks out smiling.
Yeah, he's just smirking. I'll wait in the car.
Yeah, gives a little I'll wait in the car, and then Stefan is, looking at the girls, and he starts to give vampires, and obviously, we cut outside where Klaus is walking away, still smiling, still very happy with himself. Yeah. And we just hear the women start screaming. Yeah. We already know they're toast.
Yeah, clearly Stefan is in his Ripper era for real now, which, as a rewatch we know, but on a first time, what a crazy, that's such a confusing thing to witness, we'd seen how he kind of loses things at Miss Mystic, and, a little bit in season 2, you kind of get how he has issues with blood generally, but this is really such a different side of Stefan for the first time, so excited to keep digging into that.
Yeah, same.
But we got to reset a little bit.
Yeah. Back at the Gilbert house, it is a new day.
A new dawn, a new day, a new life.
Yeah, it's morning. We see Elena in her bed, and at first she's just kind of staring off. She, isn't getting out of bed just yet, obviously. Yeah. Thinking about things. If you're just joining now, just watching season 3, obviously, Jenna just died, John just died.
Stefan's left.
Stefan's gone. Yeah, a lot going on for poor Elena. Yeah. But yeah, she's staring off, and then she does eventually get up. She goes open to the curtain, sort of hesitates for a second, whips them open, and then cut. We see she's doing that in Jeremy's room.
Yeah, waking him up.
Where he's still asleep. Yeah, he's like, oh my god, the light. Yeah, she's waking him up, and then Elena tells Jeremy that he's late for his shift. Matt called. Yeah. So apparently Jeremy has gotten a job at the grill.
Yep. Classic.
Classic. And yeah, he's late for work. And Jeremy's like, oh, good. Maybe he'll fire me.
This is the older sister experience for real. The number of times I've done this is hilarious.
Yeah. I got to throw the curtains open. Yeah.
Wake up the sibling. You're late for work.
Yeah.
Been there. But yeah, so it's sad. They're going through a lot, but also they're trying to go about their day. Yes. They're trying to move on. They're being siblings. Yeah. So we see Elena goes downstairs, and now she's on the phone with Caroline, and she's talking about the party that they're planning for that night. That keep it small, what's even happening. Yeah. And I love both Caroline and Elena's looks in this scene. Yes. Elena has on the red tank top with the necklaces. Caroline has the white, very summery, very cute, very they've got a little tan to them. Yeah. Elena has her hair up, which is telling it's very hot. You don't want your hair on you, it's really cute. I love both their looks. I think they both look so good for the summer.
Yeah, they're so them also.
So them.
Caroline's the flowy white top.
Yeah. Yeah, whereas Elena's in
so
like
good.
a more like casual tank top sort
Yeah.
of thing. It's very cute. I love it. So
Yeah.
again, the summery looks. People are changing their looks in the new season. So Caroline is telling Elena that Liz wants her to call. She found another animal attack, this time in Memphis, and they're pretty sure it's a vampire. They don't know that it's Klaus, but Elena's like, it has to be.
Yeah.
And so while on the phone, Elena is helping scruffy-looking Alaric make coffee.
Yeah.
It's just funny on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's implied, he's been there all summer. He's just
Yeah.
kind of like living there. And yeah, she's helping with the coffee. They're like
Exchanging looks and everything. And she's also like, Elena is also saying what Caroline is saying like out loud about it being Stefan.
Yeah.
To kind of loop Alaric in too.
Yep.
And we see Elena and Caroline talk about they keep their conversation going, and Elena's like, I'll call Liz and yeah, keep the party small. And then Caroline just like sees Tyler in the town square.
Yeah, clearly these two are like hanging out. They're good again.
Yeah, they're buddied up. And then yeah, Caroline just tells Elena to wear something pretty and then hangs up.
Yep.
Yeah, before Elena can protest too much.
Exactly. Leaving Alaric with Elena to kind of like ask about, is it Stefan? Like, what's going on? And Elena says that her theory is that like Stefan has to be with Klaus because the only other option, the only other reason he wouldn't be home is that he would be dead, which she can't accept. And so then Elena mentions to Alaric, because we see him kind of like folding a blanket at the couch. She mentions to Alaric that he spent half the summer sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
Like he can take one of the bedrooms. But he says he doesn't want to take, either her dead parents' bedroom or Jenna's room.
Yeah.
Not really a nice like way to have to live.
Yeah.
So he'll stay on the couch. And Elena starts to leave. She's like leaving the room, but Alaric stops her and he says, Happy birthday. The reveal, this is Elena's birthday.
Aww.
She gives a sad little like half smile and says thanks and leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sad,
not a good
little
time
sad.
for Elena.
Yeah. Sad moment for Elena.
Yeah.
Not having a sad moment. Back in the Salvatore house, Damon is taking a bubble bath. We see he's
Just first thing in the morning.
Yeah, first thing
with
in the morning.
champagne.
Yeah, he has a glass of champagne, but he like goes to pour into his glass, and the bottle is empty. And of course, we see Andie is also in the bathroom doing her makeup.
Yeah,
and
getting ready for work.
Yeah, getting ready for work, like most people.
adults would be.
Yeah.
And
Damon asks her for more champagne, and she's like, no.
She says, I'm not your slave.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
love that for Andie. Finally, telling him off a little bit.
Yeah.
But she tells him to get it himself, of course. And he gets out of the tub just dripping all over the place.
Yeah, covered in suds.
Covered in suds, obviously soaking wet. He was in the bath. Doesn't put on a towel, nothing. Like these poor hardwood floors that I know are like these original hardwood floors.
Yep.
But yeah, he goes downstairs, and then we don't really see him go downstairs, but we cut downstairs. We see Elena come in the house, and she starts looking around, and Damon walks up behind her and is like, morning.
Flashing Elena.
Still fully naked. Yeah.
Yeah, completely flashing Elena, who turns around and is like, oh my God, and turns back around covering her eyes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she does like this. And
Yeah.
she just grabs like a random blanket off the couch and,
And throws it at
him.
Yeah, to cover himself up.
Yeah, and she like eventually he does wrap it around himself, and she like slowly pulls her hand away.
And he makes a little joke. He's like, you should learn to knock. What if I was indecent?
Yeah, having their fun little banter.
Yeah, of course. Nothing's changed between these two over the summer.
No, not at all.
So yeah, she gives him the blanket to cover up and tells him that Sheriff Liz Forbes gave him a new location, a new lead on Stefan, which Damon's of course like, oh, you mean another dead end? Like they haven't led anywhere. So clearly we're getting an indicator, if you hadn't already, that like they've been spending the summer trying to track Stefan to figure out where he is.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been going well. It hasn't really led anywhere. So yeah, this is where we find out that's what's been going on like the last 2 months for them. They've been tracking Klaus's movements. So Damon is like very dismissive. He takes that note and is like, I'll look into it, and like leaves. And he goes back upstairs, and we see him go into his closet where he has like a whole little collection trove of like all of these leads he's been following all summer, like a literal map, like all these like newspaper clippings of like clearly he has been actually tracking like Klaus and Stefan, and has been like, you know, letting Elena believe whatever, that it's not going
Yeah,
well.
that it's not happening. Yeah.
And so Damon asks Andie if she's up for a road trip, and she says she has to work, but
Yeah.
she'll get him an address. She'll figure something out. And they're like talking about like, oh, the guy and whatever had a family member who, like, clearly they're very deep into this. Like, they actually have a lot of leads. And she says she has to leave, but she'll see him at the party later tonight. So again, the party, everyone's mentioning the party.
Yep.
So Andie leaves. And this scene is very, like, nice for me. Of, like, seeing Andie and Damon is clearly like partners in crime. Clearly, like, they seem really solid. Like, they had the little tiff earlier about the, like, I'm not your slave.
But it was kind of playful.
It was playful.
Yeah.
And, like, when he got up out of the tub and just started walking across the room soaking wet, she was, like, laughing at him. Like, she thought it was funny. So clearly they're in, like, a pretty good place and have all in been, like, you know, getting along. But I'm sorry to say, speaking of all the summer looks we've been talking about, Damon's hair is so long. Why did they let it get this long? It is literally creating, like, little,
it's like flipping out. Like,
it's flipping out at the ends. It's so long. Ian is beautiful, but I hate this hair. I'm sorry, Ian.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I
feel like, I guess it kind of gives a little bit of a summer vibe. But I
It
think it's
gives the
only this
summer vibe.
episode.
I think. Maybe
thought
next one.
In the next one, it might be long, too, but it's definitely, like, dark in the next one. There's a lot going on with Ian's hair.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is also the season where it's, like,
black. Yeah, literally black. So
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with his hair, but it is giving summer of, like, I've been busy, I'm letting it grow out, I'm not going regularly to get it cut. It works, but I'm like, it's just not my favorite haircut of his. So anyway, I had to say that before we cut to the Mystic Grill.
Yeah, see, this is the summer look I thought you were going to say. We get to see Bonnie only on a phone screen. Her summer look is literally like FaceTime.
Yeah, trapped in a Motorola phone for the product placement.
yeah, of course. Yeah, but at the grill, we see Jeremy is working there. He's like doing like stocking shelves or something in the back. Like he's just working in the back room. And he's talking to Bonnie on whatever
a Motorola phone.
Yeah, on whatever the Motorola
the
like
logo's
Android
so
FaceTime.
Obvious.
Yeah, Skyping. I don't know.
Yeah,
and they're just talking. You know, they're mostly making small talk. He's just saying he's bored without her. Like she has to come home. All these different things, and then the lights flicker. Of course.
Yeah.
And there's like a kind of like a strange noise. And Bonnie's like, what is going on? What's this? And of course Jeremy is just a suspect about it. Why be truthful but with Bonnie? Like
why not be like the lights just flickered? Like
I don't know. Why not either be truthful or be less of a suspect. I don't know. But he's just kind of weird about it, and he's like, it's nothing. And she asks like if he's okay, like if there's anything going on with him. And Jeremy of course is just like, come home soon. So they hang up, and then the lights flicker again, and then they kind of go fully off for a second, and then we see them flicker back on, and it's Vicky. She's like standing right in front of Jeremy.
Yeah.
And Jeremy, of course, is like, Vicky?
Mm-hmm.
And then, they kind of flicker and come back on all the way, and Vicky goes away. But then we see Anna behind Jeremy. She's like about to reach out and touch him, but then Matt comes in. A lot going on in this scene.
Yeah, a lot going on. Clearly the reminder, like, Jeremy died last season. That's kind of what he and Bonnie are talking about, how, like, he's, but been through a lot. He literally died and was brought back to life. And now he's seeing ghosts. So, a lot going on with Jeremy. But his summer look, I like. I feel like
Jeremy looks good. Yeah,
the tan suits him really well. And he has a nice new haircut. So, like Jeremy's new summer look.
Jeremy's summer look good.
Matt, he doesn't look very different
for some reason. He looks exactly the same.
I noticed a slight tan and maybe a slightly different hair that I was like, I guess he looks good, but he doesn't overall look very different.
No, he looks the same to me. Yeah, I didn't really notice him looking different. He wore his SPF. He knew.
Yeah, he stayed inside all summer. Yeah. Yeah, so he comes in. He's been working at the grill every day, so that's why.
Yeah. Oh, sad for him.
Matt. But so he comes in and he's like, we have to switch sections. He
barges in.
Yeah,
he storms in. Obviously, Anna disappears. But go ahead. Yeah,
he tells Jeremy they have to switch sections because Caroline and Tyler just sat in his section and he doesn't want to wait on his ex-girlfriend. Which, fair. It's funny. Like, it is very funny how dramatic he is about it, but I'm like, this is real. I mean, this is how I would be too. I'd be like, I'm not doing that. Like, somebody has to switch. For sure. I mean, I guess obviously it's different if you're in a good place, but clearly he and Caroline are like, he's avoiding Caroline is like what the whole episode is getting to. Like, they're not in a good place. It didn't end like super positively. It just ended. So anyway, so Jeremy agrees to take over the spot. Cut to outside. We see Tyler and Caroline getting lunch together.
Yep.
And Caroline mentions how Carol's been acting so weird. Like, she's been acting so weird lately. And this alludes into them being like, oh, yeah, like, everyone thinks we're dating. That's so weird. Like, why would we spend all this time together? Like, crazy. Who could possibly think we're dating? You see Jeremy, like, give them a look. And it's like, when Jeremy Gilbert is looking at you like you're clueless, you know you've truly lost it. You are truly clueless because these two.
I mean,
we've all been there, but also it's like, you guys.
Jeremy is literally like, he was shot. He's being haunted.
Yeah.
He's working. He has a full job, like a full-time job, I assume.
Elena's
and even he knows.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Literally, these two are clueless.
Yeah, they have no clue.
We'll keep coming back to these two throughout the episode because they have a lot going on this whole episode.
Yeah.
But after their girl, we're taken to the Southern Comfort Bar where we were told that Ray Sutton is.
Yep.
And we see Ray at the bar getting a drink, which have to call out right now that Barton Hollow by the Civil Wars is playing. Like, point me in the direction of the dive bar that is playing the Civil Wars because that's where I want to be.
That's where I want to be. I know everything about this bar, this vibe. I was like, this is so good.
This is exactly where I want to be.
Yeah.
And with Klaus there too. So
yeah, honestly.
Because Klaus goes right up to the bar to Ray because he says that his name is Ray or something. So Klaus knows that it's him. And the guy tries to leave, like, realizing, like, something's not right. Like, Klaus comes off strong, always.
Of course.
And so he, like, tries to leave, but obviously Klaus stops him. And he says, your type is hard to come by. So we're kind of trying to have to piece together on a first watch through the dialogue what's going on here. And again, Ray tries to leave, but he bumps into Stefan, who's now appeared, the loyal bodyguard, always there to just use his body as a wall to stop people from running away from Klaus. So he gets stopped, and Ray, of course, then realizes that they're vampires. And Klaus is like, oh yeah, my friend is a vampire, and he compelled everyone in this bar, so I don't think anybody's going to help you or notice.
Classic.
Yeah, classic, going around one by one, compelling every person in a bar to act like everything's normal. Love that trick.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so Stefan compelled the whole bar to act like everything is normal, and then Klaus sort of tells him, you know, my mate is a vampire, and I'm a vampire also, but I'm also a werewolf. And he sort of tells Ray what a hybrid is and explains that he wants to create more hybrids. Yeah. But to do that, he needs to find more werewolves, meaning he needs Ray, who now we've realized is also a werewolf. He needs Ray to take him to his pack.
Yep.
And Ray's like, no, I'm not going to take you there, and compelling me won't work. Obviously, you can't compel werewolves. And Stefan just kind of like takes something out of his pocket and says, I'll tell you what, Ray, we're going to play a little drinking game. Something I like to call truth or wolf's bane.
Truth or wolf's bane. And then he asks the bartender for darts. So you're like, Stefan is insane.
He is truly insane. I love him.
I love him. He's such a psycho. We've talked about this in season 1 or 2, how like he has this sort of vindictiveness to him, like when he really wants to like let loose and be like tough guy Stefan, like he really is. And like we're getting tough guy Stefan in full force in season 3, like right off the bat. He's pulling out his wolf's bane, he starts crushing it in his fingers, getting it prepped. You're like, oh god, what is he gonna do now?
And he's like playing with it, and Klaus just turns to Ray and is like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I love these two.
I love these two. The combination is so good. I don't know how they knew that like Joseph Morgan and Stefan Paul Wesley were gonna have such good chemistry.
I know. Yeah, they really like aligned this up really well. In fact, I wish this arc could have lasted like even longer than it does.
Yeah, they should have made it last longer. I love them together. It's so
I do too.
good.
Yeah.
Another pair I actually love together, another pair of buddies who I think work really well together, is of course Damon and Alaric. We see they pull up to the Tennessee house that Stefan and Klaus had been in like the night before. So clearly they're right on the trail. They know right where to go. Alaric and Damon are very much in their BFF era. You know, these two going on. Elena's like calling Damon and he's ignoring her calls. It's like they're keeping him out of the loop. But just imagine for a second, if your high school history teacher was doing this during summer vacation.
Any of the things Alaric does during this episode, imagine.
Including living with one of his like 17-year-old students just randomly.
Yeah, that's true. Not great.
knowing it from the inside, we're like, it is good. It is good for all of
Yeah,
them. But obviously
definitely.
from the outside, the gossip that must be going
Oh
around
my
Mystic Falls.
God,
It's
yeah.
probably insane.
Yeah, especially, because his girlfriend dies, then he
Yeah.
moves into her. Yeah, so
Yeah,
weird.
So weird. Everyone's probably like, that family is so weird.
Yeah, also cursed.
Also cursed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so so they're on the case. Damon ignores the call from Elena, and Alaric complains about how this puts him in like a really awkward position since he's living with Elena. Like, what's he supposed to tell her? And Alaric also says in this that he's like waiting for Jeremy and Elena to kick him out, but he doesn't know why they won't kick him out. Which, Alaric, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. This starts the arc where I like do not really love Alaric that much, because I was like, especially between like this and what happens in like the last scene that he's in. Yeah, he just does not. I feel like, how does he not get it? Like, obviously it's a comfort for him to be around. I don't know.
Well, so he's entering his like self-deprecating, I'm a problem, I drink too much, I say the wrong thing era, where he's just like, because he's so sad about Jenna, he thinks he's like this lost cause that like nobody could love, or he could be good for nobody, which will come up in every scene of his in this episode and like the next one. So he's like, why would they not kick me out? But it's like, how can you not, as an adult, be like, of course these two teenagers who've had every single parental figure in their life die would want you around,
they need a
bro.
guardian.
Yeah, what are you talking about? He's insane for this.
Yeah, not only want him around, but like need him.
I didn't know how to pay bills at 17.
No.
Like, how'd you even keep the lights on?
Yeah, I have no clue. I barely know now. I'm like,
I know. I set up auto pay and I forget. Which is probably what Elena's doing. But still, it's like, it's just insane that he thinks they don't need somebody.
I know.
So, I don't know. But again, he's just too lost in his own cause of being...
Which is kind of fair. Lots of grief. But
yes, lots to grieve, and everyone processes differently. And, like, he's been through a lot in the last, like, year. But I don't know. Still, it's like, they're teenagers. They need somebody.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so they are, like, walking towards the house as this is happening. And as they get closer, they're like, wait a second. It's quiet. It's too quiet. Something's going on.
Yeah.
And then Damon's able to walk right in, no invitation inside the house, which is always the indicator. People are dead.
They're dead.
They are dead. Which they find very quickly because they walk in and there's blood all over the walls. Smeared over like picture frames. Clearly this is like Stefan's house of horrors. Like, like he like murdered these people in clearly the most brutal way possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Which it's always insane to me when there's like blood everywhere, because wouldn't the point be to like drain them efficiently and have all of the blood to yourself?
Yeah, I'm just
not for Stefan.
Yeah, but I'm like, how is Stefan not licking the walls clean? Like, we've seen so many times how Stefan's like has to have every little last drop. He can't get enough. I'm picturing him just like, Klaus has been waiting too long and he comes in. Stefan's licking the blood off the picture frames because he needs every last drop.
Klaus is like, this is fucked up, but I'm gonna ignore it. We'll keep
Klaus
moving.
would probably be like, let's keep going, buddy. I'll get you some fresh stuff somewhere else. Oh god, these two. Anyway, it gets worse because we of course like get further into the house and they find the bodies hosed on the couch, like they're just like watching TV, and they're like pretty much covered in blood and have like very obvious like lines of like cuts on them, which is really weird. Don't know how Stefan even achieved. There's like lines around like the ankles and stuff. How did he even do that?
I don't even want to know.
I don't want to know either.
Yeah, no.
So anyway, so Damon explains to us this is Stefan's signature. This is how he knows it's not just any vampire. It is Stefan. Because he says there's a reason they call him the Ripper. He feeds so hard that he blacks out and he rips their bodies apart. But when he's done, he feels remorse. It's the damnedest thing. He puts the bodies back together. Which is just like insane. Yeah. We just talked about humanity and did a whole episode about humanity switches. I'm like, I wish we talked about this scene specifically in Stefan's.
The ability to black out and just do this.
Rip the bodies apart.
With
and then feel
his humanity
remorse.
on. Yeah. Obviously, if he feels remorse. Yeah.
But then thinking putting them back together makes it better.
Oh my god.
Posing them to watch TV, which I was watching this with producer Shay and we were talking about how crazy this is, and she was like, the thing that's crazy is they're smiling. So did he also like move their cheeks so that they were smiling, prop their eyes open? Like, how far did he go with this?
Oh god.
It's really weird. It's really weird that they made this Stefan signature, but I kind of love it.
I kind of love it. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, which, as Damon is saying, Stefan puts the bodies back together. He like kind of nudges one of the girls with his foot and her head just rolls off.
Yeah, full decapitation.
And Alaric is like, You can tell he's very clearly like, what
the hell
is going on? Yeah.
Which again, Alaric is like really only seen of Stefan what we've seen of Stefan, which is like
true, yeah,
a pretty moderately good guy. Yeah, he has some problems sometimes with the hunger, but it's overall he's had it in control and it's not been that bad. I think Alaric is now understanding like Stefan is not a normal vampire.
No.
Stefan is way worse in some cases.
Yeah.
Like this is serial killer level crazy. Like this is like insane. So anyway, they got to clean this up. Damon's like, clearly these two have no care in the world about covering their tracks since they're just leaving stuff like this. But I do want to cover our tracks. So he starts pouring gasoline all over the living room. And of course, they set the house on fire. But before they do that, they're like kind of moving around and they hear a weird creaking noise in the floor. And they open it up to find, like the carpet, to find a trap door. Open that up to find what is very clearly like a werewolf, like dungeon or
cellar,
something.
Yeah,
cellar.
There are like chains all over the wall, like the Lockwood cellar.
Exactly, like which is how you kind of know. There's scratch marks, a little bit of blood, whatever, chains. You can tell it's like a werewolf cellar. And they say they're like werewolves. So they're putting the pieces together that clearly Klaus and Stefan are on the trail looking for werewolves. So that will take us to Party planning committee. Party planning committee.
Yeah. We see Caroline, Elena, and Tyler at the Salvatore house.
The A-team.
Love it. Yeah, the A-team. I love that this party is being held at the Salvatore house.
Of course it is.
Like, truly probably the nicest house in Mystic Falls.
Which is why it's the best place. You know, people would show up just because they want to see inside that house.
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be like, I gotta just go and see this place. It's like fully sober. Yeah.
It's at the Gilberts. It's fine. I don't really want to go.
It's fine.
It's at the Salvatore's. Oh yeah, we're in.
Yeah, because also I'm sure people are like, these people are weird, like the Salvatores. So I'm like, I'm sure they want to know.
Huge house. It's probably in the middle of nowhere too, whereas Elena's looks like it's on like Main Street. Basically, so it's probably an allure. That was definitely the vibe in high school.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So anyway, the A-team is putting together all the party decorations. You see, they're like napkins and stuff that they're looking through. Yeah, they're like cases of beer and stuff like that. And which also, this should have been Elena's first clue. This was not going to be a small event. There's like a ton of stuff. But whatever.
She thinks Caroline's an over prepper, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, which she probably is. But yeah, Elena mentions, that she feels like she has to fight Damon every single time there's a lead on Stefan. And Tyler, of course, is like, maybe he doesn't want to find Damon because he's into you, Elena. Saying the things he shouldn't be saying, which at this point,
Caroline, is what we're all thinking.
Yeah, what we're all thinking, but you shouldn't be saying out loud. And Caroline does give him a little Tyler.
Yeah.
One of those. And then Elena says to Tyler, like, the only reason Stefan even left with Klaus is because he got the blood for Damon and saved Damon's life, and all this stuff. And Tyler's like, but didn't you kiss Damon?
Like, that probably messed with his head.
Yeah, that probably messed with his head. Yeah, kind of calling her out a little bit, which I'm like, probably good.
Yeah, fair.
Caroline gives him another, like, Tyler.
She's giving him the look of, like, stop.
Yeah, like, do not say more. We all know the look.
We all know the look. Except Tyler doesn't, apparently.
Tyler does not, But Elena just, like, kind of smiles and takes it in good stride.
Yeah, she's like, it's fine.
Yeah, she's like, whatever. And Caroline apologizes, but Elena says, like, she only kissed him because she thought he was going to die.
Yeah, it was a goodbye kiss.
Yeah, it was a goodbye kiss. Yeah. Which is fair. And then
he definitely came across like that. It was a
lips,
it wasn't like they were making out.
Also, Damon literally looked like on death's door. It was fully believable he was gonna die.
Yeah, I'm sure he did not even pucker his lips. He was just like laying there
flat. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, Elena looks at her phone, like she gets a little notification, and she says she has a missed call from Bonnie. So she sort of leaves the room to go probably call Bonnie back.
Yeah.
And Caroline starts yelling at Tyler at this point. She's like, just because I tell you these things doesn't mean you're supposed to know them.
Love that.
And Tyler is just like, LOL, I gotta go pick up Sophie.
Yeah, I gotta leave. I gotta go get ready. The party must be in hours because it's light out still. And he's like, I gotta get enough time to go change and pick up Sophie.
Yeah.
How long will that take, Tyler? 45 minutes?
10 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, to go from some cargo capris to another pair of cargo capris. Come on, Tyler.
Yeah.
But anyway, Caroline is like, what? You're bringing a date to this? Yeah. Slutty Sophie is your date?
Caroline.
Don't love that, Caroline.
Yeah,
but okay.
I hate that. She's only grown so much since season 1.
I know. Yeah, this is another... it's like a little, like, lull in her growth. Yeah, a little regression. Yeah, exactly. And Tyler's like, it's been a little bit slow in that department. And, well, I'm horny all the time.
I hate this Carol and Tyler interaction so much.
Same. I was like, the secondhand embarrassment I was getting from this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was like, what is going on? This is so weird. But then Caroline's like, yeah, me too.
Oh,
LOL.
yeah. It's such a vampire thing. It's such a werewolf thing.
Yeah.
Just being so horny.
Yeah, I'm like, can't be a 17 thing, but
Yeah,
okay.
literally. Yeah, we haven't been told explicitly multiple times that being a vampire just, like, heightens the things that are already there, but whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be purposefully awkward, obviously, because they're both dancing around the fact that clearly they like each other and want to hook up, but, like, won't acknowledge it because they're friends.
Yeah.
And it's just so awkward, like, as a viewer. Like,
It's
just
so,
is so
uncomfortable. Yeah.
So anyway.
Don't love it. And they also, it's obvious even in scene, it gets kind of awkward. And Tyler just leaves.
Yeah,
he just
like,
goes.
okay, bye.
He's like, okay, we got that out there.
Because she's like, I hope you get lucky. He's like,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye.
boy, so awkward.
Anyway, yeah, a little awkward in a very different way. Awkward and uncomfortable. We go back to the Southern Comfort Bar where we see Ray is chained up and like up against the wall.
Yep.
And he has darts in his body.
Oh, yeah.
And then we see Stefan is like at a table across the bar a little bit, and he's like dipping and swirling the darts in a glass of obviously vervain and some drink.
Wolfsbane.
For Wolfsbane, yeah.
Not vervain, not yet. Wolfsbane and water.
Wolfsbane and water. Yeah, he's mixing together like the Wolfsbane drink because it is truth or Wolfsbane. And yeah, obviously these are the darts. He's soaking them and throwing them at him.
He is sick.
He is truly, a sicko. And we see, like, Klaus is just kind of sitting next to them watching. And then,
Oh, my God. The shot of Klaus sitting there
do love him onlooking.
smirking. He, smirks as Stefan throws one of the darts. I use that shot in our, edits. Anytime we have a thing where it's like, who's your person or whatever. I use that shot of Klaus every single time because I love that shot of Klaus.
He looks so good.
He looks so good. The summer look is perfect for him. And the smirk he does,
he's so amused by everything. I love him.
I love it.
I love him. Yeah.
So yes, Klaus is just watching all of this as Stefan's throwing the darts, and he's telling Ray that he has to do everything that Klaus says, that he isn't going to stop because Klaus won't let him stop, and Klaus isn't going to let him stop until he knows where the pack is. So he's just going to keep doing this. So he's throwing darts. Suddenly a woman walks in and goes up to Klaus to whisper to him, and she says that Damon was spotted at the house, that clearly the vampires are following them or whatever.
Yeah.
And Klaus is like, oh, thank you, dismisses her. Stefan is listening in to all of
course,
this. He's basically hand around his ears, listening in. And he goes right up to Klaus and is like, my brother is following us. Mm-hmm. And Klaus says he's going to have to go deal with Damon and clean this up. But Stefan basically begs him, let me do it. Let me handle it. Let me take care of him. And Stefan says that he should be allowed to go deal with this because Klaus knows that Stefan will come back because, Klaus did save Damon. They made a deal and Stefan will honor that. So he should let him go. Yeah. So he's going to let him go deal with it, clean up his own brother's mess. So that's where we've ended up with these two for now. Cut back to... Wow, what a scene. At the Salvatore house, Elena's getting ready for her birthday party. She's in Stefan's room, standing in front of the mirror, and she's looking very, somber. Clearly she's not excited. Clearly she's just
it's girl birthday.
It's girl...
Yeah, ladies,
but
But
when
yeah,
you're
when you're 18,
it shouldn't feel like this, so that's sad.
But me watching this, I was like, yes, this is the birthday move.
But that's not supposed to be the birthday move. It's literally just because she's sad about her whole life and Stefan.
Yeah.
But anyway, she looks amazing. I love the white, lacy dress. And the light, curl in her hair. Very subtle, but very cute.
Yeah.
And Damon appears in the doorway right behind her. And they joke about how she's not happy for the party. She can cry if she wants to.
Yeah.
And Damon tells her that he got her something. He got her a gift. Although he was made to promise not to buy her anything. Which she assumes, you stole it.
Yeah.
Which I love that she jumps to that. He's like, no, I found it. And steals something.
Yeah.
And he, of course, reveals in a little jewelry case that he has Elena's necklace from Stefan that we haven't seen since, what was it, 219? 220? Something like that. It was right when Klaus arrived.
Yeah.
Probably 218. It was early. It was
early. It was like probably 9.
Oh, 2:17 because 2:18 is
17.
when Klaus is in Alaric's body at the dance. So 2:17 is what the last time we saw the necklace.
Oh yeah, because Catherine takes it when she's pretending to be Elena.
Yeah, exactly. So he has found the necklace. It was found in Alaric's apartment, and Alaric for some reason gave it to Damon instead of giving it to Elena, which is like, what? He's such a little like double agent. Like he's
Also,
working on this like relationship.
Also, I was thinking about this. I love that Alaric found it like presumably, shortly after the events. Months ago is what I'm getting at. Yeah. And Damon's just been holding on to it. It's like
the whole
I'll
time
just keep
waiting
it for
the
her
perfect
birthday.
moment.
Which, smart of him.
Smart of him. And I can see the logic of being like, it might be too upsetting to get this
True.
right now. We don't know if we want her to hold on the hope of like getting Stefan back.
True.
There's some logic behind like keeping it, but it is funny that he does that and just waits for her birthday. But of course now he's decided like she needs this, and of course it means so much to Elena. Like this is like everything, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is like really happy to see it, and she asks him to put it on her, and like they both turn and look at the mirror, and like she moves her hair, and he puts the necklace on her, and it's such like a sweet, tender moment. They're very close. It's very cute.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about, of course, as rewatchers, what we know this scene means in the future, what it is revealed to be.
This scene is everything to me. I mean,
Obviously, we know what you're alluding to. As rewatchers, we know this is
canonically when Elena falls in love with Damon because he's being so selfless in this moment.
Yeah.
And that's like her like keystone memory of her relationship with Damon.
Yeah.
When she makes Alaric wipe
Yeah.
all of her
She
memories.
gets rid of.
Yeah, she gets rid of it, but yeah, and so because it just shows Damon being so selfless and like helping her hold on to this hope of Stefan.
Yeah, and helping his brother too, like
Yeah,
it's such a caring moment from him, a selfless moment, and that's, we've talked about time and time and again how that means everything to Elena. And so doing this meant everything to Elena, which I think it's so interesting that they made this the moment that they canonically she realized she was in love, because it doesn't read in the moment. Like she doesn't, like she's very happy to see the necklace, but she doesn't really like give any significant looks to Damon. Like there's nothing about it that screams like, oh, she just realized she's in love with him.
Yeah.
Which I kind of wonder, it could be the type of thing where it happens, you don't think much about it, and then like when you're laying in bed at night, you're like, that was really weird. That meant something.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a very tender and kind of intimate moment. Like, she does like the whole like moving her hair to the side.
Yeah,
and, like, puts the necklace on her.
Yeah.
They're of course like very close and like I don't know. There is obviously something to it. Obviously, that's why they chose it.
Yeah, that's why they chose it.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, I agree, because we said a lot, or at least I said a lot in season 2. Like there were so many other moments I would think
definitely
would be Elena's fallen in love, even if in those moments she didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So it is interesting that they decided to choose this one.
I do like that they chose it though, because I do think ultimately, like you've already explained, it is the logic of the moment that makes this one make a lot of sense. Like it's not as like passionate or heightened or tense as some of the other choices you could definitely do for them. But it's logically makes so much sense for her, for why she would realize she loves him.
Yeah.
So canonically, love. She already knows she loves him now, which is crazy.
Yeah. I also think it works because
her and Stefan are way more ambiguous at this point. Like, are
she
they
hasn't seen
together?
him in months.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of hard to choose a season 2 scene because
they're very dating
together.
Until
that'd
at
be
least
so
the end of the season.
wrong.
Yeah,
this is where like we know we just did an episode about Elena gets a lot of flack, especially for like switching sides with the brothers, which is fair. But this being the moment, this being months after, she doesn't even know if Stefan's alive. Like she literally does not know. So yeah, it's a good moment to choose for the like canonical falling in love, I think. But it's cute. So not so cute.
Yeah,
the party going on downstairs. Damon, like, he puts out his arm, takes Elena downstairs to reveal the house is basically like a frat party level, like madness. It's very high school party, but it's like very high school party.
There's so many. Every single teenager in Mystic Falls must be at this party,
and from out of town for sure.
Yeah, and some adults, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, we see outside before we see in the party, and there are tons of people outside. And then we see, Elena and Damon coming down the stairs inside, and there are people
everywhere.
Like people are screaming at her, "Happy birthday, Elena!"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people are passing by. It's like hard for them to even get down the stairs.
Yeah,
practically.
it's crazy.
And they like kind of go into the main room where everyone is. There's like a sea of people you can barely wade through. and a girl like has like a bottle of whiskey, and she walks toward Damon and Elena, and Damon takes it from her and is like, you want the young cheap drinks? Go over near the young cheap people. He like compels her to go.
Yeah, and takes the good liquor back.
And takes the good liquor back, yes. And then we see Caroline is in the crowd, and Caroline comes up to them, and Elena's like, this is keeping it small.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, she kind of doesn't seem very happy about the party. And Caroline just sort of keeps on smiling and, like, kind of forcing it. And Elena's just like, what are we drinking?
Yeah, love it. She's always down.
She's down. She'll turn around. And, yeah, they go away, like, arm in arm. It's, like, a pretty cute.
Yeah. I feel like this is a good friendship episode for Caroline and Elena.
I think so, too.
You know who I wish was here, though? Bonnie. Why does Bonnie not get to come back to town for her best friend's birthday party?
Yeah, the idea, like, I don't know if they ever say, like, where her father's family lives.
Yeah, it's
but,
just
like,
implied she's out of town with family, but, like, she can't come back.
She can't. Her best friend's, like, whole family, everyone she's known is dead. She can't come back for her birthday party.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. Episodes like this where I'm like,
the writers...
It's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
You will not beat the allegations.
Yes, I was just going to say, they will never beat the allegations.
Yeah, no.
So, anyway, Matt and Jeremy.
Yep.
We see them, like, in the library. I think that's what we determined that room is called. Bonding over their misery. Jeremy, again, reminds us he died and was brought back to life. He's, like, catching up Matt.
Yeah.
And Jeremy tells Matt that since he came back, he's been seeing things, but he hasn't told anyone, including Bonnie.
Yep.
Literally nobody knows. And he's like, I think I just need to chill out. Like, he's just, like, brushing over all of this, which... The fact that Jeremy has lived through the things he's lived through, that he knows all the stuff, God. He's dating a witch, and he's not concerned at this point. He's like, I'm just a little crazy. Yeah. Like, Jeremy, you should know by now something's going on.
I know. This is why I was trying to get at this in the earlier scene of Jeremy on the phone with Bonnie. Why would he not tell Bonnie? She's like the one person you really could tell.
Well, and he tells Matt in the scene, I think, that it's like, well, he is seeing his dead ex-girlfriends. If he were seeing other ghosts, he probably would have been faster to say. But the fact that it is his two ex-girlfriends, who he never broke up with, they both died.
True.
Don't really want to tell your current girlfriend that, but... Either way.
It does make it a little bit harder.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, then we see Elena and Caroline sort of like come into the smoker's den, as they've called it. And Matt sort of like gets up to leave the conversation with Jeremy. And Matt walks over to them and, you know, kisses Elena on the cheek, which she just gives a little, oh.
Yeah, she seems very like, what's going on? Everyone's vibes with Matt are weird in this episode.
Yeah, Matt has weird vibes. But also, he's acting like he's kind of doing like a squinty, like he's
he's
stoned.
Never smoked a day in his life.
There for 2 minutes, which I don't know. Maybe this scene, like, you know,
who knows? He could have been in there for hours, but still, he's like, out of it.
Yeah, and he's being silly goofy. He does give Elena a little kiss on the cheek, which she's like, okay. And then he tells her happy birthday, and then he just
ignores Caroline. Just walks away as if she's not there. So petty.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about in the Why Do People Hate Matt Donovan episode. Like, he just walks away. He says nothing to her.
Completely ignores her. And she's like, he hates me.
Yeah, she's like, he hates me so much it's driven him to drugs.
I love her. That's so
Caroline.
Funny. That is so funny.
Yeah, and then Elena points out, like, Matt doesn't hate you. He just hates not being with you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Elena realizes Jeremy is over there in the smoker's den, because we all thought Jeremy was past this. He kind of like
he's out of his druggy phase, as Bonnie called it.
Yeah, and she like gives Caroline her drink and then walks off.
Yeah,
and then
she's gonna go take care of Jeremy. Cut to outside. We see Damon and Alaric are hanging out like on the porch or whatever, which not Alaric being there. This party of all of his students, underage children, drinking and doing God knows what else, including the smoker's den.
Yeah.
And he literally says it himself. He goes, I'm the chaperone teacher from hell. Like, I'm every parent's worst nightmare.
At least he's self-aware.
But it is still a bad look. Damon's like, I love high school parties, which is just as bad.
I know. I was like, that's not good, but it's so funny he's just funny. Like, I love high school.
Yeah, this is great. Damon then mentions that Andie is not there yet because she has a 10 p.m. broadcast, but she should be there soon. She's wrapping up, yada, yada. hinting at later
Yeah.
things. Then suddenly Elena comes storming outside and immediately like hands out holding for Damon's drink.
Yep.
And she takes his glass and downs it and like says that Jeremy's smoking again. She's like, like so like stressed.
Yeah.
And she says to Alaric, can you go talk to him? Like he looks up to you, which is so cute. Like,
it is really cute.
so she's like, he'll listen to you, which, you know, we already know Alaric is like trying to get out of all of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cute that she trusts like Alaric to help take care of it. So clearly Alaric is this parental role for them.
Yeah, which I don't know how this doesn't solidify like why he's around, why they've left him around. Like,
I think it's maybe just that he thinks he wouldn't be like a good parent role and
Yeah.
that he shouldn't be. And so he's kind of just making his own decision that like,
they don't
can't
need
do
me.
it.
What good am I? Yeah.
But clearly, like Elena wants it. Tons of people have bad parents. Like
True.
We are given parents,
Yeah.
not always chosen them. So
That's true. Yes.
So anyway, that scene ends there. We get to see Andie working at WKPW 9 News. I kept looking at the signs. I was like, what is this station name? WKPW 9 News.
Yeah.
Really
random.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's the boss woman at work. She's there all night. She's saying she's on the phone saying she's the last one there again. I was like, get your bag, Andie. Yeah. Do your job. See, I love her.
I love her too.
And we only have so many minutes left to love her. Unfortunately.
Honestly. Yeah, sad for Andie. But yeah, we see she is girl bossing the hell out of that place. She's on the phone. And yeah, she eventually like, you know, sort of gets off the phone. She goes to grab her bag. And suddenly like the spotlight turns on behind her and like is blinding her. Yeah. Which she kind of like turns and says like, you're burning my retinas. And then she tries to like move out of the way of the spotlight, but then the light follows her. Clearly someone messing with her, even though she had just said like she's the last one here. And she tries to run at this point. Obviously she should be freaked out.
Yeah, because she's calling out to the person and they're not responding.
Exactly.
Like she's saying like, who is it? And they're not. So it's getting like really
freaky.
creepy.
It's giving horror movie. Yeah,
it definitely is giving horror movie.
Yeah. And then like she tries to run away and then she trips over something and then someone walks in front of the light, which at this point the silhouette, it is Stefan. It's so clearly Stefan.
We know that hero hair anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. So obviously Stefan and his hero hair. But Andie doesn't realize, and then she tries to get up after she trips, and as soon as she gets up, Stefan is right there in front of her. And at first she's like, Stefan.
She's so relieved.
Yeah, she's literally like, oh, thank God. Like, thank God it's you. We've been looking for you. Like, where have you been all this time? And he just looks at her and says nothing. He's doing his Ripper stare again, where he's like kind of looking down and over and kind of like smirking. And she obviously instantly gets afraid. She knows about all the bodies on the Eastern Seaboard. She's afraid.
And even if you don't know, it's like the way he's acting, clearly
it's not
Stefan.
Exactly.
Like a horror movie.
Yeah, and she obviously freaked out, and he starts to do the vamp eyes. And we see cuts away.
Yeah,
not good for poor Andie.
I hate this. Why did he have to scare her? There was truly not a single purpose, because he didn't even feed on her. So it's not like you can even say like, well, it's part of the feeding. No, this was being vindictive. So maybe I take back what I said in Stefan's no humanity thing, that like, I don't know, he kind of just does stuff to mess with people.
That's true.
When he's a Ripper, even if his humanity's on, which is really weird.
Yeah. My only justification is he is trying to convince everyone, like Klaus, Damon, everyone, that his humanity is off. But this
who
does
does
nothing.
Convince?
This
he's by
little
himself.
part does nothing. Yeah,
he's by himself. She doesn't get any chance to talk to Damon after this or tell him like what happened. So it's not like Damon even knows. This was purely just between him and Andie, and that's it, which is really weird. Yeah,
especially because, you know, a season ago, Stefan was like, Damon, she's a human being. Don't treat her like this. Like,
and then he killed her.
And then he kills her. And then, taunts her before. Like, it's not enough to just kill her.
Yeah. No, it's
not a good look for
psycho
Stefan.
Killer for real. That's what it's getting.
Truly.
And it just makes me so sad that she was so relieved to see it was Stefan. And obviously it was so bad. That was the worst person it could have been.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
Second to only Klaus.
Yeah.
So yeah, just such a sad scene, and of course we'll come back to that and where it even goes after this. But, less sad, from a very sad dramatic scene to an absolutely hilarious, completely ridiculous scene on the dance floor at the Salvatore house, Tyler is grinding with slutty Sophie. They are like, this is indecent. And Caroline is just standing there watching them looking pissed. She's angry.
Oh my God.
For obvious reasons. But not obvious to her, apparently. I don't know if they know what's going on between them.
Yeah.
But anyway, Matt comes up to her and is like asking about like Tyler and is he dating Sophie and whatever. And Caroline's just mad. She wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
And
she points out Matt has like never spoken to
her
her all summer.
Yeah. She says, you've said 5 words to me all summer, and those were 4 of them.
Yeah.
Meaning you've only said 1 word to me all summer.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he brings up like vampires and werewolves, and shouldn't Tyler be his like, you know, her mortal enemy or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like yelling basically.
Yeah.
And Caroline's like, Matt,
Are you
what's
kidding?
wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why would you be talking about this so publicly right now? And he's just like, oh, I don't know. I guess I'm just really out of it. And he like leaves. What is Matt's plot this episode? It's so weird. He's just high. He's just way too high. I don't know. It's very confusing.
I don't know. He has a weird plot this episode.
Doesn't really give much, but
yeah.
Anyway. So Tyler comes over also at this point and is like trying to figure out like what's going on there. And, you know, Caroline is just like trying to brush it off. Like she doesn't want to engage. And so Sophie comes over too. And Caroline compels Sophie to leave because she's like, great party, Caroline. And she's like, thanks, now leave it.
And compels her, yeah. Iconic. I always remember Caroline does that. It's funny.
I know, it's so funny. That's like every high school girl like wishes she could do that.
Yeah.
Compel like the person who's with the one she wants to date to just leave.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that ends that for Tyler. He's not getting a chance with slutty Sophie anymore. Which, again, hate that.
Yeah, sad for him. That's all we see with them. That we'll leave that drama there for now.
For now.
Then we just see Damon outside telling Alaric that he has to go pick up Andie. And Alaric makes a comment like, oh, your fake compelled girlfriend wants you to be a chivalrous boyfriend.
Yeah.
And Damon's like, we have a complicated dynamic, which they definitely do.
They do, yeah.
And yeah, Damon asked him to hold down the fort. And Alaric again points out how weird it is that he's here. He's like, oh, you mean the fort full of my like high school students who are drinking?
Yeah.
And Damon's like, drink more. It'll be less weird.
Definitely won't be less weird. That'll make it more weird.
Won't be less weird, but yeah. And then Damon just kind of leaves them there. And we see upstairs, Elena goes into Damon's bedroom. You know, she's clearly like not really having it with this party. Like, yeah, she's looking for Damon also. And we see Caroline is in the bathroom drinking from a blood bag, just
out
trying to take the edge off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she sort of like hollers to Elena, like the room is closed, before she realizes it's Elena. Mm-hmm. But Elena and her start talking about the party, and Caroline mentions that Damon better be there for cutting the cake. Elena says she wants to skip the whole cake thing because obviously she's not having a great time. And Caroline's like, no, it's your birthday. Like, you have to make a wish, blow out the candles. It'll be the dawn of a new day. All these things, like, move on, get on with your life. And Elena is like, get on with my life. Like, that's what you all just want me to do.
Yeah.
Which, again, not a great Caroline episode. I guess she means it about Stefan. And
she means well.
She's right with respect to Stefan, like, getting on with her life. But also,
it's
her
so
biological
insensitive.
Father and her
Jenna,
aunt, just died. I feel like get on with your life was a little callous, but okay.
It definitely was.
But Caroline just says, you know, no, I don't really mean that, but also no one wants to see you this way. And Elena is like, I'm not just going to give up on Stefan. Like, I can't just do that.
Well, and she says, like, I need to know that he's at least alive.
Yes.
I just want to know that he is alive at this point. Like, she's like, which I don't think is true, but she's like saying like he doesn't even need to come home, he just needs to be alive. And so Elena starts to leave, but as she does, she sees Damon's closet door is open, and she goes to take a look and finds the secret tracking map and all the clues following Klaus and Stefan, and realizes that like Damon's been doing this and just not been telling her. Like, he has been working on this and he's obviously got some leads. And Caroline's like, why wouldn't he tell you? And she's like, I don't know. Cut to back at the news station, the WPKW9, whatever the heck this news station is called.
I need to go back and look at like old clips of Andie on the news and see.
Yeah, was that always what it was called?
Always what it was? I don't know.
No,
I feel like no. Yeah,
there's no way that what was his name? Logan Fell was saying that. WKPW9. No one was saying that.
There's no way. But yeah, we see
Damon's looking for Andie. He's like showing up, and he gets a call from Elena.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm by the punch bowl. I'm right over here. And he hangs up. He's like pretending that he's still there. So he walks further into the studio, and suddenly behind him, Stefan appears. And Stefan drops the classic, hello brother. We got to keep a counter. This is our third already. We had Damon in season 1, Elijah in season 2, and now Stefan so far in season 3. So the classic evil brother about to do something bad to their brother line. That's how we know Stefan's evil now, because he gets to say hello brother. That's always the indicator.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. At this point, Stefan tells Damon, stop following me. It's causing problems. And Stefan is just trying to get him to let him go, because Damon is not willing to let go.
Yeah.
And Damon tells Stefan he saw the whole mess in Tennessee, and if you keep doing that, like, there will be no saving you. And Stefan says, I don't need to be saved. Classic line from someone who desperately
needs to be saved. Yeah.
And Damon tells him, there's a birthday girl at home who won't let me not save you.
Yeah.
So clearly, he's doing this for Elena, but also himself. And Stefan is like, I guess I haven't made my point. Allow me to make it. And then Stefan calls for Andie. Damon is like, Andie. And then we see Andie is up in the rafters, like on some sort of ledge. And she tells Damon that Stefan compelled her not to move. Damon tries to calm her down, tells her to stay calm. And then Stefan tells Andie it's okay to move now. And as Andie moves, she basically just walks off the ledge. And Stefan pushes Damon against the wall so that he can't, jump and save Andie. Yeah. And Andie falls to the ground and makes a horrible noise.
Yeah, clearly neck broken.
Yeah, clearly she's not going to recover from this. And Stefan, grabs Damon and is like, I said, let me go, like screaming at him. Classic. And he lets Damon go, and Damon runs over to Andie, but he like turns her, and she's already like covered in bruises on her face. Like,
so sad.
Yeah, so sad. Can't feed her blood or anything. She's already dead.
Yeah.
And he looks back to see if Stefan is there, but Stefan is just gone.
Yeah, just disappeared. Yeah. So sad. Justice for Andie. What the heck?
Yeah, justice for Andie, my campaign this season. Yeah.
It's already over.
Yeah, this is wild of Stefan to do with his humanity on.
Yeah. Again, like you said, like, he was the biggest proponent in the last season about how, like, Damon shouldn't have been doing what he was doing with Andie anyway, which, obviously there were really bad things that happened between Damon and Andie, but also, like we said, like, there were good things between them too. They were making it work for them. And, like, I don't believe that Damon was keeping her against her will, but...
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's an interesting relationship that they had, and it's just so sad that it had to end with her just being this, like, collateral damage to teach Damon a lesson. Like a toy that he, like, broke just to, like, prove a point.
Yeah, which is literally what Stefan calls Damon out for, like, treating her like an object.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really it's a low.
I love Ripper Stefan, but this is
cruel.
This is the low for Ripper Stefan for me.
It will get lower. So
okay, this episode, this is the low.
I was gonna say, save that for maybe like an episode 10 or something.
That's true.
We'll get to some other lows.
Yeah,
but this one's pretty bad. So moving into some better stuff. At the Salvatore house, Jeremy is like walking, trying to find his car. Yeah. And he sees Matt, who's also walking around confused, can't find his truck. Jeremy's like, that's a sign you shouldn't be driving it. Which also producer Shay was roasting Matt when we were watching this. She was like, he's totally that guy at that party who would like, everyone would have to hide his keys. Like, you just know Matt would be getting in that truck, blackout, like, I can get home. I was dying. I was like, I've never thought about that, but that's so true. Matt is definitely gonna get in his truck regardless. So thank God he couldn't find it. And thank God Jeremy found him and is like, I will take you home.
Yeah.
Which, of course, they don't get that far because as, like, Jeremy gets in the car, he sees Vicky and he blurts out Vicky's name. And Matt gets in the truck and then he turns on the truck and then, Jeremy sees Anna when he turns it on, and he like immediately like freaks out and turns it off and is like, "We should walk home.
Let's walk.
We should walk.
Yeah,
this is not good. We're both out of it." So cut inside to where Caroline is also not doing so hot.
Oh,
She's
my God.
Drunk. She's over it. She's walking through the middle of the dance floor and she picks up a man full body and like just tosses him to the side. Like she's like the Hulk, picks him up, drops him over to the side.
Also in front of everyone.
In front of everyone in the middle of the dance floor.
2 minutes ago, she was mad at Matt for even saying the word vampire. And now, she's just moving people out of her way.
Yeah, she's out of it.
But yeah, like as she's like moving across the dance floor, Tyler sort of cuts her off and is like, what is wrong with you? Because he probably just saw her do that. And Tyler asks, is she pissed that he brought someone, like brought a date? And Caroline's like, no, that's awesome. Love that for you. Like, good for you. And he's like, Tyler's of course like, you know, well, if I shouldn't be dating people, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to keep dating people. Yeah. And Caroline asks, what would she say? And Tyler is of course like, don't play this game for me. I put my heart on the line last season. He doesn't say last season, but before he left to go with Jules. Yeah. He like, you know, obviously showed Caroline that he was interested in her.
Yeah. Which I think is kind of fair that he's like,
definitely.
I put out the vibes last season, and you were like, no, so I'm not going to do that again unless you're crystal clear, which is good because they're friends. It's always complicated when you're friends and somebody's made a move and somebody said no. You can't push that again. It's her turn to push. Yeah.
And she does.
Yeah. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so she kisses Tyler, and like Tyler kisses her back, and they're like, let's get the hell out of here.
And then ditching this joint.
Yeah. And on their way out, Damon comes back in and Caroline's like, you missed the cake.
Yeah. She's like, you missed the cake. Shoves the bottle at him and they walk out the door. Yeah. And so then, of course, this is like Damon's worst nightmare, having to walk into like your house full of drunk teenagers.
Yeah, after your girlfriend just got killed.
Yeah, your girlfriend just got killed. Your brother killed her.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously going through the worst night possible. And now he's stuck with all these kids in his house. But obviously, like, you know, Damon is reformed. He's being, like, pretty cool about it. He just goes to his room where, unfortunately, he also finds Elena ready to fight.
Yeah, she's holding up the paper. She's got the receipts.
Receipts, timelines, like, whatever that sound is. And so she's, like, waiting there. And she immediately, like, accuses him of whatever, confronts him about like finding Stefan and you know, they have lost all hope or whatever. I don't know. They're getting into a whole thing because now Damon is of course switched sides and being like, we're not bringing Stefan back. Stefan is Stefan is a lost cause. Like there's no way that we're bringing him home. And so like she won't leave. She continually is like going after him about this, like will not just drop the conversation, despite the fact Damon is very clearly giving a like, I'm not getting into this vibe. I am upset vibe, which she's just like not picking up on. And Elena's like, why have you been tracking Klaus's victims? And Damon says, they're not Klaus's victims, Elena. They are Stefan's victims, which what a correction to like. It is crazy how Elena does not realize. She doesn't believe him. She's like, no, that's not possible. And
there were literally Post-its Damon had up that were like, you know, Stefan, Klaus, like, you know, kind of trying to pinpoint murders to different people. Like, I mean, obviously, I think Damon has realized from this night, they're all Stefan. Yeah. But even still, she should know, like, some of these are his. But yeah, she's very in denial. She thinks he's just
hanging out with Klaus and like what, cooking dinner for him?
Yeah.
And, like
also, girl, does it matter?
Yeah. Like Elena thinks like a first time viewer, and like Alaric we mentioned earlier thinks like that Stefan is just this really good guy that like he has hard time managing blood, but he's not a murderer. He is a murderer.
He is truly fully a murderer. Yeah.
He is murdering people. Yeah. And that is like a really good distinction here to call out for her, that it's like he is the one leaving bodies. Yeah. Damon says up and down the eastern seaboard. Like he's leaving a like trail of bodies, literally. Yeah. And it's just sad how in denial Elena is about all of that, and the fact that like she really does not understand anything of what's going on right now. Yeah. At all.
Like, no. And Damon has to drive it home. He has to be like, it is him, like, because Elena's pushing back. She's like, no. He's like, no, I've seen it before. He's flipped the switch. He is a full-blown ripper. Like, so you have to stop. You have to let go.
Yeah. And he says, which is, like, I think the hardest hit line here of, like, he is not coming back in your lifetime. Yeah. What a thing to say to her. Like, he's not coming home. Not in your lifetime. That hits hard. Yeah. And Damon just leaves the room because Elena is clearly, like, not going to give up.
Yeah. And Damon does look like he kind of regrets having to, like, tell her this.
Yeah. But like, I think she needed to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he just lost Andie. What else can he really say?
He's doing very well under the circumstances.
He's doing the best he can. Yeah.
So he leaves, and Elena's left there clutching the necklace from Stefan, of course. Yeah, and crying, and clearly looking very like shaken by all of this. Like, what a realization.
Yeah.
Really different tone. Cut to the Gilbert house where Jeremy and Matt are eating ice cream.
Yeah, they have the munchies now. They're for whatever reason just eating ice cream.
Yeah, the fact that their plot is just like, oh, they're so high, they have to go get ice cream. It's just really funny. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, Matt is like, I should go before Elena and Alaric realize I'm a bad influence. And Matt like starts to leave, but before he goes all the way out, he asks Jeremy,
I
like...
thought you were going to say he takes the tub of ice cream.
Oh, he does take the tub of ice cream with him.
No spoon or anything. He's just like, can I have this? And he just takes it. Yeah. And then he starts to leave again, and then he does what you're about to say.
Yes. Yeah, he takes a tub of ice cream, about to leave, but then he stops and asks Jeremy, like, why did he say Vicky's name? Jeremy tries to be like, oh, I didn't say her. Like, it's nothing. And Matt is like, no, really? Like, why'd you say her name? And Jeremy does finally confess. He's like, I've been seeing her. Like, this is who I've been seeing when I said I've been seeing things.
Yeah.
And Matt is like, you know, I see her sometimes too. Like, it's because I miss her so much. Like, I want to see her around, so I do.
Yeah.
And Matt kind of says, you know, we've got all this supernatural stuff going on, but, like, ghosts? Like, kind of insinuating it'd be too much. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's just hard to believe.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's really ghosts. Like, maybe he just misses her like Matt does. Which I was like, this is a good little sympathetic moment for Matt, but unfortunately he's wrong. It is just straight up ghost.
It is straight up ghost.
Yeah.
But I also like understand where he's coming from here, because like I remember when I first watched this, I hadn't lost anybody in my life, and like it was very like he's missing the point. Like Jeremy is seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
But like now, like having really lost somebody in that way, I'm like, it does happen. You do see them. People. Yeah, it's very weird. And so I understand why he like is just like, no, like that's what's happening. It's like it happens to all of us. You think you see them, and like it's just a flash and they're gone. Like it is like seeing like a ghost. It's like weird. So I understand why he like wants to explain it off as that. And also again, like the ghost thing is just so crazy to believe that of course he's just gonna write it off as that. And the same goes for Jeremy, who clearly also doesn't want to believe any of this, and is just like, yeah, my head's just really messed up. Which, can you blame him after like losing again the two girlfriends, Jenna, or not Alaric yet, John, like all of his parents,
all of these people,
like so many people. So it's like you can understand why he'd be like, something's wrong with me.
Something is wrong with me.
Something's just wrong with me. Like this is just how it's gonna be for me now. Yeah. So anyway, so that's where they end it for now. Is just something's wrong with Jeremy.
Yeah.
Back at the Southern Comfort Bar. I haven't checked in here in a second.
Yeah.
Ray is laying out on the pool table now. And Klaus is like giving him a lecture, and he force feeds him blood. And Ray says at this point he's already told Klaus where his pack is. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Klaus snaps his neck, killing him. Of course, transitioning him into a vampire, into a hybrid. And at this point, Stefan comes back, and he's passed Klaus's test. He made it back of his own free will, because Klaus isn't compelling him at this point.
Yeah.
And Stefan denies still caring about his brother, denies caring about his old life. But Klaus obviously knows that this is a show, and, you know, is like challenging him on all of this. Like, clearly they're setting up that this is going to be a problem between the two of them for the next, you know, however long they're together, of like Stefan trying to cover it up, but Klaus knowing that like it's just a game. So bit of a setup for the next episode for them.
Yeah. Cue A Drop in the Ocean. You know this song is a banger because it plays over like 6 scenes.
Yeah, that's how you know, because they play the whole song.
Yeah, they literally play the whole ass song.
Yeah.
But first scene, we see Alaric is at the Gilbert house. He's packing up stuff. He's like by the couch where he was living.
The couch where he was living. This is what Alaric's life has come to.
Yeah, honestly. And Elena comes in and is like, what are you doing? And Alaric tells Elena that he's leaving. He's not going to stay there anymore. And Elena is, of course, like, why? Obviously upset. And Alaric just says, you know, like we've been saying, it's because I'm not a good role model. I'm an alcoholic, basically. I don't say the right things. You know, at school I can pull it together, but in my personal life, the grief I'm feeling, like, I'm not good to anyone. Like, I'm not good for anyone. Mm-hmm. And then he goes on to say, I'm sorry, you're 18. You can do all of this alone now.
Insane.
You can do it better without me. What?
He's sick for this.
He's literally sick for this. Like, he couldn't wait till tomorrow morning to do this, not on her birthday.
On her 18. Like, that is literally sick. Yeah. So insane.
This is my I hate Alaric episode. That, like, I can understand the self-deprecation, the grief, all of it. That is fucked up. What?
Yeah. Channeling it into Elena to be like, you can handle everything now.
Bro, a birthday is one day.
Yeah.
She was this basically same age yesterday.
Yeah, it's just a number. Like, that's insane.
I hate him for this.
Yeah.
But
yeah, awful. And also, when the song starts playing, like at the start of the scene, they show the photo of Jenna and Alaric on the table.
Okay,
like, they just had to remind us of Jenna to really make sure we were emotional, off the bat here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Less emotional, less moving. Emotional for them.
Emotional in a way, yes.
Emotional in a negative connotation for me personally. At the Lockwood house, during this beautiful moment we have of drop in the ocean and, Elena and Alaric having this emotional conversation. Cut to Caroline and Tyler having their supernatural makeout, stripping their clothes off.
Yep.
This is barely allowed to be aired on the CW.
Oh my God, I thought I was watching HBO for a second. I was like, what is going on?
It got a little spicy there for
CW pushed this as far as possible.
They definitely did. So anyway, things are getting X-rated over there. Cut away because we can't stay too long since it is HBO levels. At the Salvatore house, we see Damon, of course, is dealing with Andie's death, and he goes up to Stefan's room and trashes it, throwing stuff all over the place, like grabbing things and breaking them, and like clearly this is like his way of like, it's the only way he can really get any revenge like on Stefan. Like he has there's nothing he can do to fight back against this. So his like kind of, again, it's like they're kind of children in a lot of ways, Stefan and Damon. That's his only way he can really get any sort of revenge on Stefan, is just trash his room, which is sad.
Yeah, very sad. And then we're cutting through all these scenes really quickly. And then we go to a scene of Stefan leaving the Southern Comfort Bar, and he goes outside into the parking lot, and he looks like he is barely holding it together.
Oh yeah.
Paul is putting his whole Stefosy into this scene.
Yes, the Stefosy.
He looks like he like can't breathe, can't sleep, and he takes his phone out of his pocket and like starts calling someone. And then we cut to the Gilbert house, where we see in Elena's bedroom on her bed, there's a little hand-drawn card from Jeremy. It like says "Happy Birthday, Elena" with a little heart. It's
so sweet.
It's so precious. That was such a good touch for this episode.
Such a real touch. Again, the sibling bonds between them is so. That's what you do for your siblings. Because you don't have any money.
Exactly.
You have to draw them a card.
Also, it fits with Jeremy's like artistry, like his artist era.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Truly, one of my favorite like little touches of this episode.
Yeah, and you can see she really appreciates it too, which is cute.
Yeah, and she picks up the card and she moves it to her dresser to like kind of display it. And she walks into her bathroom, putting her hair up and everything, and then we see her phone vibrating near the card on the dresser. Unknown caller. Yeah. Who could it be?
Feels like they're doing like the fake out of like she might miss it. She might not like get there. Like the first watch, you're definitely like, go in there, Elena.
Yeah.
Like, look at your phone.
Definitely. Yeah, they are doing that because she doesn't catch it for a minute, but then she does come in from the bathroom and picks up her phone, and she of course answers. She says, like hello, and we cut to Stefan outside the bar on the phone. He's saying nothing, but he's on the phone. And Elena's like, Stefan, if it's you, like, you'll be okay. I love you. Like, just, like, hold on to that. Never let that go. And we cut to Stefan. He looks devastated. Yeah. Like, he is barely holding on. He will be holding on to that. Like, that will be his one tether to humanity. Yeah.
He was tearing up. I was tearing up.
He was getting Yeah. Oh, my God.
Such an emotional moment.
A Drop in the Ocean is still playing. Oh you already know, of course.
Yeah, I'll never be over this song. I'll never be over that moment. No. It's so cute. It's so good.
It's everything, yeah.
Unfortunately, I do have to think about the fact that, like, Elena doesn't know for sure that it's Stefan, so she could just be on the phone. I love you, Stefan. Hold on to that. Ma'am, I'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. Like, it could be anybody on the line. Like, you have a credit card. Nobody's paying the bills at this house.
Man, we're about to shut off your lights. Like,
yeah, we heard you turned 18 today, so you have to take on all the responsibilities in the world. This could be anybody.
Yeah, true. But
of course, they're cosmically connected. She knows it's Stefan.
She knows.
So it is very cute. I do love this moment.
Yeah,
it's
me
one
too.
of my favorite Elena moments ever. I think it's
same, yeah.
I think it's like their best moment probably. Which is funny because Stefan doesn't do anything.
He does nothing. He gives nothing.
It's so cute. But
less
cute again. Back to Tyler and Caroline. Tyler's asleep now, and Caroline's like collecting all of her clothes,
she's sneaking
getting
out.
Dressed. Yeah, sneaking out in the middle of the night. And so downstairs, she's made it down there. She's dressed, but she's like holding her shoes. Her bag is sitting on like the table in like the center of the entryway, and it's so awkward because Carol Lockwood appears,
of course,
and they kind of like have an awkward interaction, and Caroline's just like, so I guess I'll leave now, bye. And she turns around to pick up her bag, and when she touches it, it like singes her hand. Clearly Carol has put like vervain all over Caroline's bag. And so she pulls back, and at the same time, Carol pulls out a vervain dart gun and shoots Caroline in the back like 4 times. Caroline falls to the ground.
Oh, my God.
It's absolutely insane, but I have to say, Carol was badass for this moment.
She was.
I give her props. She got more done with the vampires in this town than Liz did in 2 seasons. Like, she's caught more vampires than Liz has.
That is true. That's true, yeah.
So, it's crazy as it is.
It's crazy.
She did her job. And that's where we end for 301, which is kind of crazy because that won't even really come into play in 302, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier because I was thinking what happens in 302, and I was like,
nothing. Caroline's just on ice.
Yeah. Literally, she's just down.
Yeah.
It was a lot of vervain. There were multiple vervain darts, so she's just down.
For a day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
anyway.
Wow, 301. That ends like the whole wrap-up of the episode, which is insane.
An absolute top-tier episode.
It really is one of the best. So, our first outro of season 3, we're going to be introducing a new little category to our usual outro this season. You guys are always telling us how you want to be a part of the show. You wish you could be a guest. You wish you could be a host. You've got so much to share and say, and we love reading your comments. But we want to introduce a new segment where we will be playing voicemails that are left in our number. We'll put it in our description. We'll have it easily accessible in our socials.
Yeah.
And you will get a chance. We'll play one voicemail to give a chance to like say something about the episode, whether it's like a little favorite unique moment you want to call out, a quote you love, a blooper you've seen, a behind the scenes fact any sort of any sort of little thing that you want to like make sure gets said in the episode. We'll pick one to feature in the outro so that it's like your little guest moment. So back to the usual
outro. Our in memoriam. Of course, most of these kills were by Stefan.
Classic.
Stefan, of course, kills the 2 women that he reassembles in Tennessee.
What a great call out.
No other way to put it.
Yeah.
And he kills Andie, of course, in the news station, WKPWK 918. I don't know.
Whatever that one's called.
And then, of course, we see Ray killed by Klaus because Klaus is trying to turn him into a vampire.
Yeah, so first death. He'll get another one soon.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So, a modest 4 for the first episode. Yeah,
not so bad.
Which is still a solid number considering how these usually go. So that brings us to our out-of-pocket moments, or our things we would have done differently. We go back and forth, but I feel like there's a lot of out-of-pocket this episode.
Oh my god, yeah.
So I certainly have some contenders. My first thought was Matt ignoring Caroline at the party, but I was like, we could do better than that. Maybe Alaric being at the party of his underage students. That
is definitely a contender.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But then I was like, actually, there is one clear winner for me. And that's the fact that Tyler and Caroline's whole plot is about how horny they are. That's their whole plot for the entire episode is just like...
Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane. On the writers, on Tyler and Caroline, on everybody involved in that. It's just hilarious to me.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it had to be a Lockwood for sure.
Oh, it's always a Lockwood. It had to involve
one of the Lockwoods. It always does.
It's always a Lockwood or a Forbes. That's usually how these go.
I wanted to say it was Carol, just... doing that to Caroline, like that's
insane.
Still wild. It's still the daughter of probably her best friend, and like
someone she's known her whole life.
Who's like hooking up with her son.
Yeah,
wild for her. But then I'm like, I agree. Actually, she's getting shit done. This is a girl boss episode for sure.
An episode for the girl bosses.
Yeah. So I think I have to go with Tyler and Caroline.
Yeah.
They can just win it together. Like their whole plot is just outrageous.
Yeah, the fact that that's their whole plot, the entire episode is just building up to the fact that they want to like make out and have sex. Like insane. Insane. That's their plot for the first episode. Anyway, good for them. They accomplished their goal, I guess.
They did. They did.
On to quotes.
Yeah.
This isn't an episode that has like a particular standout quote, but there's of course good dialogue. My faves always have a good quote. Damon and Klaus,
of course.
So first I'm gonna mention the Damon quote. When the girl with the bottle comes up the stairs, and he grabs the bottle from her and says, "You don't want that. You want the cheap young stuff over by the cheap young people."
That's fun. I do always remember that one too.
And I didn't remember this one, but I really like the delivery of literally everything Joseph Morgan says ever.
Everything.
And I really liked this one that he says to Stefan when Stefan's talking about like, you know, I'll do whatever I have to do. Yeah. And Klaus says, "Oh, you sound so tedious and indentured. Aren't you even having the least bit of fun?" Yeah. I thought that was a really good quote.
I like that one a lot too. I didn't, again, all of the dialogue was very good. I didn't have any real standouts, but I did like the line Caroline says about like, he hates me so much he's turned to drugs.
That's so funny.
That was funny. Just so Caroline.
So Caroline.
Yeah. And then I also had a quote from Klaus. He says it in the beginning because I just felt like it was so Klaus. The delivery was perfect. Yeah. I liked when Klaus said, "I love it when they run."
Oh my god.
I was like, oh my.
That should be the winner. That's sadistic. That is so funny.
But also I was like, sultry in a way. He's giving a lot in this episode.
Everything Klaus says and does is sultry.
Yeah,
it just
for
is.
Sure.
Let's go with Klaus. Okay, I love it when they run.
I love it when they run.
It really sets the tone for season 3, unfortunately.
It really does, yeah. And then, of course, to our hardest category.
Packed to the max.
Hardest just because there were so many good songs, but it's actually easy.
Such an obvious winner.
Absolutely.
The best song of the episode, we always pick the best song played, and this episode is so hard because there's 12 songs featured in this episode, which is a lot. That is way more than normal.
Yeah, the song royalty fund was replenished for season 3. They were really let's blow it all on episode 1.
And it was worth it. Every penny spent. It was. Obviously, there's an easy winner. There's no way you don't know who the winner is. We'll get to that later. We got to do our honorable mentions first. I think we got to start off right at the start of the episode. Are we there yet? Ingrid Michaelson, which plays when Elena's waking up, when she wakes up Jeremy. It's such a cute moment. I like that song. I like that they played an Ingrid Michaelson song in the season 2 finale, and then they play in 301. It feels like a nice little, bookmark in a way.
Yeah, that was one of my honorable mentions too.
Yeah, and it's just a good song. They play Ingrid Michaelson like a decent amount, and it feels like it fits with Elena in this moment. So I really liked that one.
Yeah, definitely. For another honorable mention, I didn't go so much in order, so I might be skipping over some of yours, but I also really liked, just as an honorable mention, Make It Without You by Andrew Bell. It of course plays while Damon is putting the necklace on Elena. And just a very nice moment, but they're way better Delena songs in this whole season, so just honorable mention for now.
Yeah, Delena can't win here. There's another pair that obviously has to. But yeah, I agree. That one was also one where it's it's a classic Delena moment, so you have to honor the song. Not a classic moment at all, but a classic song of the 2010s.
Oh my god, so many,
so many. But the first one is What You Know by Two Door Cinema Club.
Yes,
that plays of course when Jeremy's working at the grill talking to Bonnie and then Caroline and Tyler. I loved that song at this time. I loved that song. I want to hang out.
Love Two Door Cinema Club.
Yes, we said it in 101 the pilot. We want to be hanging out at the grill listening to MGMT. I want to be hanging out at the grill listening to Two Door Cinema Club. What a vibe.
I just want to be at the grill hanging out.
Yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
No good music even, just in general.
Yeah.
But they have good music, which contributes to it.
Yeah. Another honorable mention I went with, again, honestly, all of these songs could be my honorable mentions.
All of them.
But I tried to limit myself. So the last honorable mention that I did was You Make Me Feel by Cobra Starship.
Yeah.
Just so of the times. And such a good party song. I was like, this feels authentic. That is actually what Caroline would be putting on the playlist.
That's exactly what I said. Is Caroline curated this whole playlist.
100%. She killed it.
Yeah, she did kill it. Because the other honorable mention I have is Hello by Martin Solveig and Dragnet. The one that's I just came to say hello. Yeah. That's so popular at the time, and so Caroline would put it on the playlist. Absolutely. And it's nice that it plays right when Damon and Elena are entering the party.
Yeah, they're saying hello.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
So that's all the honorable mentions, but I feel we both have to mention this is a devastated to not give winner to. This is the most solid runner-up. Would have easily won any other episode for me. I love this song.
I know. Yeah, we have to be talking about the same song. It's just so quintessentially Klaus, the originals. It feels like it could be played in the originals.
Oh, totally.
It's so good. In fact, I'm going to vote
that we included in our playlist with the winner.
Yeah.
But yeah, the runner-up is, of course,
Barton Hollow by the Civil Wars.
Oh my God. I love the Civil Wars so much. And Barton Hollow is like, it's one of the few like kind of rock songs on that album.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really, really like it. And like you said, perfect for Klaus, perfect for the southern bar that they're at. Like it fits so well, and it's devastating to not be able to make it a winner. So we'll just make it a winner anyway.
We'll make the rules. We'll put it in.
Rules.
Yeah, why not?
Mad at us anyway.
Honestly, yeah, all of these songs could go on the best song playlist.
They could.
Except...
but classic, has to be. This is like when you start talking about songs from Vampire Diaries, this is like one of the first 3 songs that come to mind. Like this is one of the most iconic Vampire Diaries songs to my mind in the whole show.
Yep.
And of course the most classic Elena song, which is A Drop in the Ocean.
Yes.
Oh, that song is so perfect. Love listening to it, but it's of course the moment, the phone call, like everything about it is just, it's perfect.
It's perfect. It's a song I play when I need to make myself feel something. Sad specifically, but yeah.
I just listen to it all the time. I'm like,
yeah, that too. I know, it's
playing.
almost gotten past that where I'm like, I'll just listen to it now.
Yeah.
I love that song so much.
It's so good. So it's the obvious winner. So excited to finally be adding that to the best song playlist. It feels
like whole.
Yeah. Well,
or
maybe
close.
not. We're missing some.
Or close.
But
yeah,
we've gotten some real like classics must be featured. So yes, we will be adding A Drop in the Ocean to our best song of the episode playlist, where you can listen to all of the winners of best song from all of season 1, all of season 2, and now our first into season 3. We'll also be starting a playlist of all of the honorable mentions, nominees, etc. from season 3, so you can follow along as we start nominating songs and winners and keeping that whole playlist going. That's linked in our various bios, descriptions. You'll also find there our TikTok and our Instagram, where we're always posting clips, polls, memes, edits, what birthday, what vampire are you? I don't know, all sorts of fun stuff. And you can interact in the comments and just get involved.
Yeah, and you can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can watch the YouTube. You can watch the video version on YouTube
if you're not already.
The YouTube version.
Yeah, if you're not already. Ooh, I'm rusty.
Yeah, it's been a while. Season 3.
Yeah, but join us next week for season 3, episode 2, The Hybrid.
Yes. So thanks for watching and or listening to this one. Bye.
Bye.
That was the rustiest outro ever.